Right to repair, a complex issue. I am from the state where I was in the legislature, one of the first states to really confront this with state regulation. And I understand the frustration of people, particularly farmers, that want to fix their own equipment when it breaks down. But before the federal government leaps into action pursuing a federal right to repair mandate, we should carefully examine, and I think something that we haven't touched on enough, are some of the self-repair functions that are already accessible. The executive director of the Digital Right to Repair Coalition, Ms. Gordon Byrne, shared that if we were to pursue right to repair as a national policy, we would have more local repair options, and I think we're forgetting the value of self-repair. Some manufacturers are increasingly offering customers remote support that can help them troubleshoot through some of the most difficult equipment problems. So, Mr. Taylor, can you comment on self-repair, those options available in the Caterpillar equipment that you sell?
Yes, I can, and I'll mention that a major thrust in Caterpillar's strategy today is what's called services growth, and services growth is it's all about providing more services to the customer, ultimately to drive more part sales for Caterpillar, the manufacturer. And so the amount of focus we have today on determining new services and new strategies to ultimately sell more parts for Caterpillar, which is just a major goal of ours as a distributor, that the focus has risen enormously in the last couple of years in this field. Right, like I say, right on CAT's site, and I have not myself visited the site to review some of these repair procedures, but it's self-service, and it's a much more extensive list of possibilities than ever was available before. We rarely wanted to give tools to the customer in our past, back in my grandfather's generation, maybe my dad's too. But today, to maximize part sales for the equipment in the field, it means we have to try every strategy to do that. And this self-service strategy is one of those strategies to put a genuine part in the hands of the customer versus a will-fit aftermarket type part. So it's a major, it used to be maybe the features were durability and productivity and resale value. Today, it's fuel consumption. It's hours between oil changes. And if we can help that do-it-myself customer buy the CAT part to do the work themselves, we're one part ahead every time we do that.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I want to touch on intellectual property for a moment. If proprietary information is easily made available to third parties, do you anticipate that manufacturers will continue to invest in future research and development? And looking for just a brief answer here.
Well, I will confess to being very confused about this topic, that this information is available to the public, first of all. And no, if all of that was free off the shelf, you'd see much less investment.
And see, that's what's so interesting to me, because property rights in Nebraska are at the top of ag landowners list. We're talking about real property rights. When you talk about intellectual property rights, I would think there would be a similar desire to protect those and to maintain the IP rights value. I think it's important to note that in January of this year, a Chinese national in Missouri pled guilty to conspiracy to commit economic espionage. The man attempted to steal the algorithm behind a farming software platform. Proprietary technology was used to boost the farmer's productivity. The Department of Justice found he was part of a program focused on advancing the Chinese efforts in industry and technology, and his plan was to bring the software he stole back to China. I'd strongly caution that we caution against any federal action that could inadvertently let our guard down against China. And I think that's a real and pressing threat, and would say that the bigger priority for me, getting more broadband into rural America so that we can first and foremost explore self-repair because I think that's really the direction we should be going. So I yield back. Thank you.